we're going to watch it once, and then we'll come back to it and talk through it.
Cool.
Okay. Talk us through it, Kevin.
All right. So right off the bat, the thing I'm noticing right now is that it's the last minute of the game. So, pressure could be high. It's 3-1, but kind of going from there right off the bat, right off the free kick there. We have a lot of players kind of mixed up into the box, and then that's when the opponent, the striker there, kind of goes for a volley and kind of hits the defender pretty heavily there. And the first thing I noticed is that that's a pretty heavy foul. So not really sure if the referee blew a really hard whistle, but if he did, one thing that he kind of lacked was the urgency. And what I would have done differently is definitely sprinted right into that to break up any kind of confrontation that might occur most likely after that incident. And the referee kind of just paced and slowly walked towards that. And I think that kind of led and opened the door for the players can get frustrated, and that's when the pushing and the confrontation happened. And that's when the referee had to react to the confrontation and deal with that mess. And you see, as a result, there was some striking there, and the black player kind of fall down there. And another thing I noticed as well is that unfortunately the referee didn't have any support from the ARs. He was kind of left there by himself, and there was no triangle formed to kind of resolve that. So he's kind of in that mess by himself and kind of figuring out who to give the red card, trying to keep eyes on all the players by himself. So that was something that he had to deal alone, which was unfortunate. And he took the player right away with the red card that struck the player, and put the red card out to show that, okay, I'm going to ease the tension a little bit more by just giving a straight red, so before anything else happens. And that was a little bit effective, and that's when things calmed down. But the one thing I really wish happened was that the ARs kind of came in and helped and assist the situation.
Okay. Anything else to add? Anybody want to add anything else to that? Okay, so let's start from the beginning of this one. The first problem here is that when this free kick is taken, so it's, you're right, it's the last minute of the game. The team that's losing 3-1 has a free kick at midfield. What are they going to do with it? They're going to dump it in the penalty area. Where did all the players go and set up? In the penalty area. Where's the referee? Really far from the penalty area, with his back to the penalty area, watching the taking of the free kick. So already we have a problem because he's really far from the drop zone. He's really far from anything. So if you're going to set up a free kick where you know it's going to go down in the penalty area, go down and get in the penalty area. Don't let him restart until you're there. Because already if he's 15 yards closer to this, when the actual foul of consequence happens, he's that much closer. So first and foremost, take up the right position on the field, near the drop zone, so you're close to it. Because when that happens, right now he is just way too far from play. And if he takes up a position here, near the drop zone, he can move in a little bit as it bounces and be in a significantly improved position for when this happens. Just too far away here. So again, if he's into this space, when that happens, he's able to blow the whistle, move in quickly, and probably keep this whole thing from happening if he shows the urgency. So again, positioning is important here. It's why we talk about positioning as much as we did early in the year. If you're 15 yards closer to this when it happens, you may be able to prevent the rest of this. But instead, hefty foul. And again, stop. If he's right here, he can sprint in and he can stand right over the player and deal with it right away. There's no mass confrontation. Instead, he walks. Zero urgency. And that's a big flare. I mean, that's a pretty significant issue there. And it's not until players start to run in that he shows some urgency. So that first and foremost is the biggest problem, positioning and urgency into the situation. Now remember how we talked about how you position your body when you're moving a player out? He turns his back to everybody here. Right here, he's completely useless because he can't see anything that's going on behind him. And so as he tries to move the player out, he turns his back and now he can't see anything. At this moment in time, the player who committed the actual foul isn't the problem. It's all the other players who have piled in, and it's actually not the player who commits the foul who gets hit in the face. It's a different guy. He turns his back, nothing going, and somebody behind him gets hit in the face. Right there. So if he's able to get in there, get his body in, and keep others from getting in with more urgency, we can avoid this red card. Now, the point about the assistant referees is accurate. At this point here, we want to see an AR in the picture. Definitely the AR closest to the play. Needed to have run in at this point and probably been off in the right of our screen. And unfortunately doesn't happen. Needs to happen next time. As we move through this, I'm a little bit conflicted about this one and the showing of the red card this quickly. Because there are still players around. There's an opposing player here. And if this player has a really strong reaction to being sent off, now you've got another point of conflict here. So this works out all right. But in this moment, you've got an opponent holding on to another opponent who you're about to send off. And if he gets upset about that sending off, there's now a guy that he can go after again. So unless you really truly need it to calm a situation, which I think this one was already calming before it happened, slow down with the issuing of the misconduct. Because in this moment, if this player reacts poorly to being sent off, you got another guy who can get hit in the face here. So this feeling did not feel like there needed to be a red card with that kind of urgency. Get it sorted out, let everybody know you're going to take it care of, get the players separated, then issue the misconduct. You also need to talk to assistant referees in this situation before you issue misconduct. He doesn't consult with anybody before he actually issues the misconduct. So take a moment, talk to folks, get it sorted out, and then issue your misconduct. Any thoughts or issues with